It's hair elastic. Lee's right, they're called hair ties. Then scrunchies? What about rubber band? You can use both terms. I know nothing about hair stuff, Liz. Lee's right, they're called hair ties. Traitor. Your mom laughed and you felt your discomfort subside a bit. Mom caught your eye. Are you alright, Z? You nodded. Throughout the next few minutes, you found yourself drawn into a different conversation, each one where everyone checked in on you in their own way. The warmth of everyone's love comforted you. You decided to tuck this treasured feeling close to your heart. You wanted to remember it for a long, long time. Night fell soon after everyone finished their meals, and before you knew it, you were standing in the parking lot, saying your goodbyes and packing up the cars to go home. After the last of the chores were done, your family spent some more time together. The rest of the night felt like it was going by in a blink of an eye, and somehow the time came to retire to your room to sleep. You pulled your covers up and under your chin and settled down for the night, getting warm and cozy. As your head sank into your pillow and you closed your eyes, your mind drifted back to everything that had happened that day. You could see it all now, behind your eyelids, as though you were experiencing it all over again. And then the image of Cove popped into your head, and you smiled softly to yourself. You decided to send him a text to chat. You texted him to come over. You wanted to sneak out to his room. You were feeling tired, so you snuggled deeper into your bed. We can text him to come over. Taking your phone away from your bedside table, you lay on your back and held it above your face, typing out a message to Cove. Do you want to come over? You chewed on the end of your finger as you watched the screen, waiting for any sign that he was typing back. If you were being fair, it was a pretty odd time to have him meet up, but even so, you hoped he would. Your heart leapt as your phone finally buzzed and you stared at his answer on your screen. Okay. A breath of laughter escaped you as you mentioned him back. He hadn't even asked why. You sent him a quick thanks back and put your phone away before sitting up in bed, leaning back against your pillows and waiting for him to come over. The stillness of the night became very obvious to you, and you started to hear the soft noises your house made when you were all asleep much more clearly. Each second seemed to drag on, and you just wanted Cove to be here already. Finally, you heard those familiar sounds coming from outside, sort of scratching and then shuffling. Next came a tap on the window. You hopped out of your seat with almost too much energy and rushed to let Cove in. When you arrived, you could see Cove smiling in at you from the other side in the dark. You slid the window up and stepped back, giving him enough space to climb through and get down from the ledge. He was in an amusing mismatch of pajamas and sneakers, and Cove chuckled when he saw you looking at his ensemble. Once safely inside, he straightened up and dusted himself off before looking at you expectantly.
Hey.
What can I do for you? He said nothing. I didn't want to be alone. I was bored. You hugged him. You pulled him in for a kiss. I didn't want to be alone. He frowned, his eyebrows pinching together in concern.
Are you okay?
Putting a hand on your shoulder, he locked eyes with you. Yeah, I'm feeling better. He sat back a little, giving you a fond smile. The bed sank under Cove's weight as he sat down, his eyes firmly fixed on the ground. His hands shook where he held them in his lap. He was nervous. I'll stay as long as you want me to. Really? Yeah, really. You can go home soon. You don't have to stay. How long do you want to stay? Can you stay the whole night? How long do you want to stay?
Well,
to be honest, there aren't a lot of situations where leaving you is ever what I want to do. I guess only when I annoy you and you need space. He chuckled softly, doubting that would happen anytime soon. Okay, you don't have to go anywhere. His face lit up as he settled in even more. It would have been the first time I've slept in your room. You snickered, feeling pleased with your decision to do this. But it looks like you might be getting the floor yet again. Okay, but there's no way I'm letting you take the floor this time. Well, looks like you might be getting the floor yet again this time. Guess so, fine. Cove rubbed at his eyes and stifled a yawn, stretching his arm above his head.
Well,
I should start putting down something to sleep on. I'll help you. He gave you a grateful smile, and the two of you gathered up a few spare pillows and blankets and set them up on the floor. When you had arranged them enough to be comfortable to sleep on, Cove hummed happily. Thanks, Z. This is perfect. Then the two of you got under your own covers, laughing before remembering you should be keeping the noise down. Your neighbor looked at you happily from his little nest of blankets on the floor. He was honestly content. The night stretched on, and you continued giggling, chatting, tuning out absolutely everything except this room and each other. It felt so light again, like you were 8 instead of 18, and the only big decisions you had to make were what you were going to have for breakfast in the morning. Soon enough, your eyes began to grow heavy, and the conversation slowly came to an end as you both fell into a restful sleep. The next morning, you woke slowly from your comfortable dream. With a small stretch, you opened your eyes fully and to the sun shining through the window. Shuffling onto your side, you noticed Cove still in his makeshift bed on the floor, sleeping soundly. You smiled, remembering the prior night. It had been nice to spend the night together, getting to be with him in a whole different way. You could definitely get used to it. His eyes fluttered open softly before widening in surprise at the sight of you. As his memories caught up with him, he gave you a bashful smile. Morning. Good morning.
I guess.
We should get up. You sounded reluctant, and if you're being honest with yourself, you were too. It would have been nice to have more time together, just relaxing and hanging out. Yeah, I guess we should. You nodded quietly. 5 more minutes. Yeah, I guess we should. You both pulled yourselves up and started shuffling around the room. Cove stretched his long limbs and yawned before ruffling his fingers through his green hair. You watched him fondly until your eyes met, and he looked away quickly, hiding a blush. So, that was fun. I can't believe I slept here the whole night. Yeah, me either. I'm glad you did, though.
Too.
With a last shared smile, the two of you headed out of your room and down the stairs, laughing and chatting casually about your plans for the day. It was like he had lived there the whole time, as if waking up together was regular as an occurrence as anything. Cove snuck his hands into yours and, giving it a soft squeeze and making you feel all warm. As you hit the foot of the stairs, you froze, finding 4 different pairs of eyes staring over at the two of you in various states of amusement and shock. Your family was already up. It took a moment for anyone to speak, but soon enough the chorus of greetings drifted over. You scanned the place to find your moms, Liz and Lee. Oh, your moms, Liz and Lee, all together around the kitchen and living room. Good morning. I got here, earlier? Oh yeah, I bet you did. Liz snorted with undisguised laughter, making Lee giggle along with her. I've been out for quite a while and never saw you come through. Well, a blush spread across Co's cheek, the pink tinge settling on the tip of his nose. You're also still in your pajamas. You don't usually walk around town during the day in those, do you? Mom let out a little laugh at her own, and you gave her a look to which she responded by clamping her mouth shut. Cove looked down at his outfit and his shoulders slumped into defeat as he hung his head to hide his very red face. You know, I always guessed you had been sneaking in, Cove, but could never quite prove it. Mom nodded in agreement, nudging Ma's shoulder playfully as she headed over to stand outside her. That's something I wouldn't have bet against. Liz tutted at the two of them and shook her head. You've definitely gotten too comfortable with their sneaky revelry.
Very nice.
You still did good. You never got caught before you turned 18. Lee smiled from where she sat at the kitchen table, waving a dismissive hand in the air. Oh, wait, did I? Oh, I pressed that button.
Self-voicing disabled.
I hate that. I hate that. Surely you can't be punished too hard for it now. I'm not so sure about that. She still lives at home, and I'm very much doubt that this is the first time she had let Cove in like this. Ma crossed her arms over her chest, giving both you and Cove a serious look.
Wow.
We may have to have retroactive punishment for all that.
Sorry.
It's not Z's fault. Yeah, it's not my fault. It was my fault, not Cove's. We're both innocent. Yeah, we did it, and we do it again. You stayed completely silent. It was my fault, not Cove's. I'm the one who asked him to come over. I practically didn't even give him a choice. That's not true. At that moment, your moms both burst out laughing, receiving amused looks from Liz and Lee, while you and Cove simply stood there
Don't worry
dumbstruck.
about it.
We're merciful, don't worry. That's true, you did indeed get away with it, and we're not going to make the little bit of summer you have left miserable over bedtime rule breaking now. Besides, you're in good company. We're almost certain Lizzie spent many nights sneaking the old home phone into her room and staying up till dawn. At least you were in your own rooms.
Rude.
Excuse me, that's conjecture. They exchanged smiles before Ma turned to you again with a firmer expression.
Goodness.
And they were in their rooms, but do worry about you coming in that way, Cove. It's dangerous. Especially because he's likely quite distracted and excited about thoughts of reuniting with Z while climbing around in the dark. Mom joked and they all burst out laughing once more, keeping Cove fully embarrassed. Cove leaned in closer to you and whispered quietly, a look of guilty settling over his features. I'm sorry, Z. Don't worry about it. A knock at the front door caught your attention, and you followed several steps behind Mom as she went to answer it. Oh, Mr. Holden and Kira were standing together. Morning.
Hello.
Hi there. Surprised at the sight, Mom paused a moment, and then she pulled Kira into a hug. Meanwhile, Cove went through a process. Shock and excitement over her arrival rolled right into the awkward realization that he missed her showing up at his house by being at yours. It's been too long. Oh. The ladybug has ended up on my microphone. It has like dust or like poop behind it. Just trying to get it. Okay, I got it. There's no dust on it anymore. Okay, never mind. Back to the... Okay, it's so hard to focus with that thing there. I don't know how it's alive. I guess it's settled. No, it's not settling. Kira's gaze slid over to you and then to Cove. Her eyes sparkled with mischief and her mouth curled into a smirk. and it's so good to see my son, finally. Hello to you, Z. Continuing on his ride of emotions, Cove's face slowly reddened. He couldn't quite meet anyone's eyes, so he kept looking at his own feet.
Sorry.
Well, it's not like anyone's surprised. I'm sorry too. Hi. You don't have to make a little comments about it. You didn't say anything. Well, it's not like anyone's surprised. Kira burst into laughter, and the other parents softly snickered. Kira gave his back a few reassuring pats, but Cove's face seemed to get even redder as she grinned. My not-so-little mister is spreading his wings. I can't complain about that. Mom immediately brought a hand to her face to hide her mouth, but a giggle still escaped. People looked at her confused, and then she laughed again louder. It's just a really fitting phrase, considering Cove's current attire. She pointed at the feathery winged-like decal around the collar of Cove's pajama shirt. Oh! Everyone turned their attention to Cove. He even looked down at his own clothes over the realization. That's so true, I didn't even notice. All of the parents burst into continued laughter. Cove was clearly not as amused. He flashed him a smile and he visibly perked up. It's really nice to be back. Enough of standing up there. Come on in. Mom moved aside to usher the group in and guide them to the living room. Before anyone else could get settled in, Mom spoke up. You're all welcome to stay for breakfast. We still have some great spices and stuff from the farmer's market.
Of course.
Yes, we'd be thrilled to host you. There were eager nods from Mr. Holden and Kira, but Cove looked around the room and filled with familiar faces before speaking up. Maybe instead of staying here, why don't we go to the beach? A scenic picnic, eh? Mr. Holden crossed his arms and contemplated the idea happily. Excited, Kira clapped her hands together.
Yeah.
Oh, we could really make a day out of it. Might as well enjoy the ocean while we can. That sounds lovely, Cove. Everyone else put in their own agreement with Cove's suggestion. Before long, both families dispersed, getting everything ready. Sandwiches had to be made, water, sunscreen, towels, and more needed to be gathered and packed. Plus, you and Holden both took some time to get dressed for the day. An hour later, both your family and Cove were walking down the old path to the beach. The morning was already turning into a bright and beautiful day. You honestly couldn't ask for better weather for a beach trip. The moment you laid your eyes on the full view of the ocean, you stopped and stood there mesmerized. It didn't matter that you grew up there. The sight always filled you with wonder. Hey, Z.
So?
I was thinking about calling Terry and Miranda to see if they can come too. Everyone else is pretty much ready here, so would your family mind? That'd be cool, I'll ask them. But you were already so excited at the prospect of seeing your friends today that you immediately darted away in the direction your moms went. Behind you, you could hear the familiar sound of Cove laughing. I have a question. Would it be alright if Terry and Miranda came by? I don't see why not. Mara looked to Mom to see what she thought, but she nodded in agreement. Mom then shot a glance over at Mr. Holden and Kira, knowing that they had likely heard everything.
You alright with that?
Cliff, Kira, what do you think? What do you two think? The more the merrier.
Okay.
Of course they're welcome with me. Thanks. Delighted, you nodded and turned on your heels. Cove was still several feet away, talking to Lee and Liz, likely about the same topic. With a beaming smile, you gave him a thumbs up, and the two of them must have also approved as Cove quickly got his phone out and started making the calls. At that, you turned your attention to helping with the picnic setup. You hurried over to your mom's and helped put the rest of the food out. In moments, you noticed Cove's at your side. So what did they say? They're gonna come. Well, I did not do a voice at all. Cool, thanks for calling them.
No problem.
I'm glad I thought of it. They'll meet us here later today. Shouldn't be too long. I can't wait. Once the setup was done, everyone got comfortable and dug into the food. I couldn't remember the last time breakfast tasted this good, but you attributed it to the gorgeous ocean view and soothing sea breeze. Morning swiftly gave way to afternoon, and very recognizable face came walking down to the shore. Baxter seemed momentarily surprised to see you all there, and pleasantly approached with a wave.
Hello, folks.
I didn't mean to intrude on the party. I was coming to get some fresh air. Oh, you didn't intrude on anything. You're welcome to join us. We brought plenty of towels and food and sunscreen. Yeah, you're one of the neighbors. Kick back and relax with us.
Thank you.
Well, I can't possibly say no to that. Thank you. Baxter's gaze moved over to you and Cove. He smiled. Z, Cove, long time no see. Hi. You waved from where you were leisurely sat, and Cove nodded. It was then that Baxter noticed that the faces he didn't immediately recognize from around the neighborhood. He turned his charm ever more for the introductions. Excuse me, I'm Baxter Ward. Sorry, we haven't met before. Well, we're not typically from around this area. Just visiting. I'm Cove's mom. A few giggles escaped Lee as she watched Baxter carefully. When his attention turned to her now, she held out a hand.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Z. I'm Lee, Z's cousin. Z. Wow, I can't read. Hi, I'm Lee, Z and Liz's cousin. Baxter shook it and then took a step back. Lee's smile grew. I'll remember that. It's very nice to meet you both. I totally forgot his voice for a second. After that, Baxter spent some time getting better acquainted with everyone, and Terry and Miranda arrived quickly. The conversation shifted to what you all would do next.
In that case,
We could do a few rounds of volleyball. There's plenty of us now.
is that alright?
Could I play? Of course. Miranda brightened, delighted with this plan. Ma looked around to see if there were any other takers. I don't feel like playing. I'd have to change, but it'd be fun to watch. I could be the ref. My eyes won't miss a thing. Volleyball's a good idea, but there should probably be something happening for those who aren't a fan. Ooh, I have some crafting supplies. We can use to make jewelry. We could even use stuff we found around the beach to accentuate them.
Really?
What? Really? I want to make a necklace.
That'd be great.
I'd be interested in trying my hands at that too.
Absolutely.
Impromptu crafting is my kind of party. I'd like to join too, please.